Yo, what's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. I'm just gonna get straight into it. The reason why I'm making this video today is because something very scary happened a couple weeks ago, and that is that my Doberman Achilles got bit by a venomous snake. It was a super scary situation for me. It happened on a Saturday, so like the normal vets weren't open, and I didn't know where any emergency vets were. Luckily, I was able to find one and take him to it. So obviously when this all went down, I wasn't going to grab my phone and start recording everything. I was too focused on making sure that my dog was going to be okay and getting him to the emergency vet. So I didn't really film anything the day of, but when it happened, him and my other dog, Shango, were outside. They were playing around. I was just doing stuff. It was a Saturday. This was in about mid-November, and it was a Saturday. Throughout that time, we had a string of warmer weather. It was getting up to like the upper 70s during the day and not getting any lower than like the mid 50s at night. And so they were outside in my yard playing. The grass is a little overgrown. And so when I brought them back inside, I saw that Achilles was kind of limping. Didn't think too much of it. Maybe he stepped on something or just, tweaked his foot. A lot of times these two, because they roughhouse a lot, they'll come back into the house limping. So I gave it some time, but then I realized that Achilles wasn't being his normal self. He usually is really rambunctious. He usually wants to, jump all over me and play. He wasn't doing that, and I couldn't see, he wasn't next to me. He's usually glued to my hip. If you own a Doberman, they will be glued to your hip. And he wasn't like that. So I got up, I was looking for him, and I found him underneath my dining room table. And when I walked over to him, I saw he had these two long strands of drool coming out of his mouth. And, that's normal for my Cane Corso, not so normal for my Doberman. Sorry, I wanted to come over here so I can get some better lighting. So drooling is completely normal for my Cane Corso, not so much for my Doberman. So I knew something was up. And when I tried to call him over to me, he wasn't moving. He didn't want to get up. So I went over to him. Finally, eventually, after I called him a little bit more, he struggled to get up, and I could see his back left leg. He wasn't putting any pressure on it. He couldn't put any pressure on it. Anytime his foot even touched the ground, he would lift it right back up. And so I knew something serious was wrong. Still didn't know what it was, but knew something serious was wrong. Now, mind you, this is in the middle of November, so snakes are supposed to be brumating, most likely, but the weather was warmer. So I instantly knew something was wrong, found the emergency vet, and took him into the emergency vet. I'm gonna be showing you guys some pictures that I took of his swollen leg. I mean, his leg was super swollen and super sensitive. And I'll show you guys some pictures of it, and I'll be honest with you, it doesn't look as bad as what you may think. Like, based off the pictures, you can't really tell too bad like what happened. But I took him to the emergency vet, and they really didn't know what was going on either. And so they ran some tests on him, they did blood work on him, and came back and said that it was in fact a snake bite, a venomous snake bite. I told them I didn't see what kind of snake it was. I don't know what bit him. I have a lot of cottonmouths on this property. That's what I would assume is what bit him. And so they said they had to keep him overnight. So they kept Achilles overnight, and I came back and got him the next morning. Obviously, they had to give him anti-venom and do all that stuff, which was super expensive. That's a story for another day. But they did all that, and I came back and got him the next day. I actually did film a video when I picked him up, so I'm gonna put that in there right now so you can see that. Picking up Achilles from the vet after his snake bite, and he's doing good. Honestly, you acting all normal, aren't you, buddy? Huh? That's the leg that he got bit on. You can't really tell the way he's laying, but it is still swollen. But you're all medicated up, huh? You're high as a kite right now, aren't you? He doesn't even feel the pain. He was walking and running on it just a second ago when I was bringing him to the car, so he doesn't feel a thing. But we're gonna get him back home and get him so he can rest a little bit, because you've had a rough night, huh, buddy? Yeah. Glad he's okay, though. So as you can see from that video, Achilles was all drugged up. They gave him a bunch of painkillers to ease the pain. His paw was still extremely swollen. He still could barely walk on it. But he was gonna start that recovery process, and he was on meds for a couple of weeks after that. I had my doubts about it being a snake bite, though, and I'll tell you why. The reason why I say that is because, for one, we were in the middle of November. Snakes, around that time, I know the weather was still a little bit warmer at that time, but they're gonna start going into brumation. So the odds of it being, like the odds of a snake still being out were pretty low. But, you know, again, I don't know this, like, I've only been, you know, in Texas for a year, so maybe it's different here. But I know in California, they're in and they're brumating, you know. So after the swelling went down, I took some pictures, and I'll put those pictures in here so you guys can see for yourself. But after the swelling went down, on his leg, there was a bunch of, like, what looked like to me little bite marks all over his leg. And so my theory was that he didn't get bit by a snake, that he actually got bit by fire ants and then had like some type of allergic reaction to it. Now, I'm not a vet, so I'm gonna go with what the vet says. If they say it's a snake bite, then it's a snake bite. But just in the back of my mind, I think it could be more possible, more likely that it was fire ants, but who knows? The most important thing is that I was able to get Achilles to the vet, and he was able to get the treatment that he needed, regardless of whether it was a snake or whether it was fire ants or whatever it was. But as you guys can see now, he's doing fine now, huh? Aren't you, bud? Aren't you? He's doing fine. He made a full recovery, and he's doing great. He's back to his normal self. He might have even grown in this video from earlier, because I didn't take. It's been a couple of weeks. And I'm sorry that I didn't get any footage of, you know, like when it happened or anything like that. But to be honest with you, in a situation like that, where my dog's life, in my head at least, my dog's life was on the line, I'm not really thinking about like making a video or filming it, you know. I just want to get him to where he's gonna get better. And so that's what I did. So that's why I don't have any videos of like the drool or anything like that. I just have pictures of when I was at the vet office of his leg, and then, you know, what the vet said to me. You a trooper, huh? Huh, you a trooper. Took on a snake and won. Actually, you might have lost. You might have lost. You might have lost. Ain't that right? I'm just really happy and really fortunate that my dog Achilles is okay. I would have been devastated if, you know, things would have gotten worse. I'm glad that I was able to get him to the vet in a timely manner so that he could get the treatment that he needed, and he's thriving now. So just wanted to make this video, you know, because these are, again, just like my last video with the fire ants, these are just those little things that you don't really think of, man. Like, living out here in the country is new for me, you know, and it's all a learning experience. And having long grass, you realize quickly that it's a place where snakes will hide. And if I have dogs running out here freely, it's gonna be situations that could potentially be dangerous for them. So definitely made me kind of rethink my approach of what I'm gonna do with my dogs, how I'm gonna maintain my yard and stuff like that. And you know, I think I'm gonna start training my dogs kind of with my own personal snakes, start training them to kind of fear snakes and to kind of, you know, just leave them alone. So that's what I gotta do to keep these guys safe. So just wanted to make this video. Hopefully it's helpful. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Let me know down in the comments what you guys think bit my dog. Do you think it was a snake, or do you kind of think like kind of what I think, that it was just fire ants? Let me know down in the comments below. Make sure you guys like this video. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, and please, please, please share this video. Until next time, everybody, my name is Pierce LaValle. We are in Pierce's Planet, and remember, it's all about the reps, baby. Peace.